positive mindset always needs something positive to work towards, i.e., goals. Set goals. So important. I know I talk about it all the time, but you have to. You have to. And if you're always thinking about something positive to do, to work toward, then less negativity has time to creep in. But if you just sit still too long, somebody that is negative will bring you down, or you'll find something negative yourself to bring yourself down. It's just the way it is. If the sun's not shining and it's dark outside, almost everything results to something dark, sinister. Something, it just doesn't have the same pop, does it? Do you feel as energized when it's raining outside as you do a day like today? No. The day like today, you got a lot of energy. The sun gives you energy. Now, you still need the rain. You can't just live on just the sun alone. The world needs rain. You need water. It's just like the body, human body. Everything in the cycle is the same. The human body needs water more than it needs bread or food. But it doesn't need food. It just needs more water more, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Keep yourself as busy as you can and then rest. Now, I didn't write this, but I do want to add this to it. Keep yourself as busy as you can and then rest and then begin again. The reason why I talk to you guys about the mindset so much is because that really is the engine for success. Your mental is what dictates your success. Your attitude dictates your altitude. Your attitude dictates your aptitude. Literally, you cannot grow if your attitude's not right. So your altitude will be low. You'll set goals and they'll be too low. And you think you did something. Because all of a sudden, you said, my goal is to make $100 today. You made $100 by noon. Now, what now for the rest of the day? Right? That's somebody who set the goal too low. Sometimes people settle for a certain guy, women, and they get that guy that they settle for, but he's less than what she really wants. And she's miserable, right? Because now she's loyal, and she feels like, oh, I got myself into this, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. So in other words, you're gonna settle for something. Generally, you're gonna settle for less than you actually want, and guys do the same. Friends saying, I feel like I have to have this certain group around me or I'm not going to be happy. You know what you're saying by doing that?
You're not happy with yourself.
You're not happy with yourself. That's it means thank you, because that's it. You're not happy with yourself if you can't be happy with somebody who's around you. Because let me tell you something. If you are truly happy with yourself, it doesn't matter who's around you. In the Bible it says, the Lord has made a place for me in the presence of my enemies. What's that mean? He's made a place for me in the presence of my enemies. What does that mean to you when I say that?
They're not your friends.
Right. These people are not your friends.
Right.
But you have a place.
Right.
So let's say it. Let's say it. It's not just that if they're your enemies, they're not your friends. That's it. That's cut and dry, simple. But what's the rest? What's the early part of it? You have a place amongst your enemies. That means just because you don't get along with someone, or they don't get along with you, it doesn't mean you have to be miserable. You have a place there. We have to think back to when we were children. And that's why you always hear me revert back to when we were kids. Because that's when you were the purest. That's when you were honest. That's where you were honest with yourself, you were honest with your friends, you were honest with your parents, you were honest with a lot of people. What happened was, we learned to be creative. And once we learned to be creative, we learn to lie. But most importantly, we learn to lie to ourselves. And then we believed it. Because the mind doesn't know the difference between a lie and the truth. A mind does not know the difference. You know, somebody say, oh, you just lying to yourself. You just lying to yourself. You're not lying to me. You're lying to yourself. Yeah. But that person lied on that so long that they believe it. It is now their truth. Right? They're confused. Now you also hear me say, yeah, tell yourself, and it's kind of a lie, but it's really a positive situation because really it's not a lie because it's more of a prediction. Right? When I tell you, think of yourself as the best at what you do before you truly are. Right? Convince yourself that you're good at something. Convince yourself that you deserve the best in life. If you're driving a car you don't really want to drive, call that car whatever the car is that you really like. I used to have my Isuzu Amigo, and in my mind, that Isuzu Amigo was a Cadillac Escalade. What's outside now? Escalade is outside now. Right? I used to have a Grand Am for a car. I'm not knocking these cars that I'm naming either, guys, just so you know. I did like my Pontiac Grand Am, and I did like my Isuzu Amigo. And I'm going to tell you, I got really pissed off. I kept it in the family. I gave it to my sister. Got pissed off when she ran it into the ground and just gave my truck away. I was hot, right? Because it's sentimental. When I look at that truck, I remember the struggle. I remember where I was, don't you? Don't you look at a picture and see the picture and remember things that happened during that time? Don't you understand that's why you take pictures? You don't take pictures to show it off to other people. You take pictures so you remember where you came from. You understand? We gotta remember, guys. But we don't have to live there. When we think about things we want to do, we're thinking about less what we don't want to do. When we think about things we want in life, we think less about things we don't want in life. So, in other words, there's two choices you have to make, right? What don't I want in life? Wow, that list might be tremendous, right? But it is a way to look at it, isn't it? The other way you can say, what do I want in life? More fun, isn't it? Because that's probably good things. Do you think people that sleep in the street say, I want to sleep on a grate on the ground? I want to sleep downtown in cardboard boxes? Not all of them, right? Maybe not any of them, right? I mean, what's the chances of somebody saying, I want to be homeless? What's the chances of them saying that? What's the chances of somebody saying, hey, I want to get married and then I want to get divorced? Let's have this incredible wedding and then in a year from now, let's get divorced and let's make it a spectacle. Let's see how big of a spectacle we can make it. Let's have children, let's have family, and then let's just walk away from everything. No, that's not why you do it. No one does that, right? At least I hope they don't. That's statistic if they do, right? You want to get away from somebody that actually says, I want to do it. You know, truly, what you want is you have to stay positive. You have to keep yourself to something positive. Or negative things will creep in. That's why I told you this story. Negative things will creep in. And then we teach this to the children because a lot of times the parents are trying too much to be the friend of their child instead of being the parent of their child.